Ja, herzlich willkommen zu einer neuen Ausgabe SE-Talk und heute habe ich ein extrem interessantes Interview. Interessant deswegen, ich habe nämlich keine Ahnung, was die Firma macht und trotzdem bin ich Aktionär. Also ich habe einen Conflict of Interest, ich bin ein Aktionär, aber warum habe ich keine Ahnung, was die Firma macht? Weil nämlich die Firma quasi vom Wesley Adams übernommen worden ist. Also er ist jetzt der CEO von der Firma und ganz früher war das die Portal Resources und die Galileo. Und seitdem habe ich eigentlich keine Ahnung und ich habe eigentlich keine Ahnung, was die Firma macht. Das ist ein Startinterview, obwohl ich Aktionär bin. Wesley, thank you for your time. I said in the German introduction, I have a conflict of interest. I'm a shareholder, but also I have no clue about your company. And this funny thing is then you take over the company, or not take over. You're now the CEO of the company, and I was invested in the company before when it's called Portal Resources, and then was Galileo, and now it's called Visionary Gold Corp. So, what you're doing with the company now? What is now the focus?
So the new focus and the reason we changed the name to Visionary Gold Corp is because we have a vision about an underexplored gold region in Wyoming, USA, which is the cowboy state. Not many people live there, and so it hasn't seen a lot of geologic exploration for gold. Wyoming is well known for coal, for uranium, so it's very resource rich, but nobody's looking for gold. And it's funny because there's been a lot of gold produced in the state, but only between 1860 and 1930. So there's a big opportunity now to use modern exploration techniques to develop these gold assets that have been forgotten about for nearly 100 years.
Mm-hmm. But you do a really great job when I look at the share price. So thank you for this. When I look at the share price, it's going up really dramatically since June, July last year. When you start 2-3 cents, now we are traded in 18, 19 cents. So really great performance. So you do something right. So what was the reason why we going up?
Well, we've established a very high grade target within this Miner's Delight Basin in Wyoming.
Okay.
And as I mentioned, not many people knew about this before. So it's an exciting news story. But to me, it's an old story because there's a long history there, but it ended in the 1950s. So, now that people are seeing this for the first time in the modern day, we're getting some great results in the sampling. We've established, a shear zone that has a 2.5 kilometer gold values on it, and in the middle of this shear zone, there's an old mine, and so we got into the old mine. We started sampling across, and we made the conclusion that look, this has real potential for modern day mining. There's a 10-meter width of 5 grams per ton gold, and within that, there's a 3-meter width of 12 grams per ton gold. So this is a very high grade mineralization. And the mineralized trend extends for about 2.5 kilometers. Mm-hmm. And, I really like this project because there's no trees. There's very little soil. So you can really see the outcrop and what the geology is at surface. And this allows us to say, look, we have a target here. It's not just a small target. It's a big target, much bigger than what the old timers were using or were looking at. So if you have an old oxide mine, these guys were using primitive methods. They were with a pick and a shovel in the mines. And, a lot of times they had to haul the ore long distances to be able to process that. So they were only focused on the highest grades, over 1 ounce per ton of gold. And so with modern methods, 5 grams to 10 grams a ton is a perfect grade for underground mining. Mm-hmm. And so I really see some potential there for there to be a much larger resource. And, it's very, very unexplored, untested. So the opportunity for us is to come in right away and start drilling this. and that's what we're doing. We've permitted 3,500 meters drilling for this next season, and we're going to try to build a gold resource here on this what was a historically productive mine, but has been forgotten about.
Okay, I see now the picture or the front picture from your presentation. Is this a picture from the project?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, this is what the landscape looks like. So the sunset you see there is going over the Wind River Range in Wyoming, but you can see this is a place where nobody lives. Mm-hmm. It's largely made up of BLM, so public lands, which we have staked a lot of our claims on, and we also have a patented claim, which is a private, historic mine, and we have a lease agreement for that to carry out our mining activities. And so that's where the mine sits. That's our primary target, is on the private ground. And we also have the BLM land around, which is where most of the gold mines in the US are located, is on this type of ground.
Can you work the whole year, or is there a working season?
Well, there's a working season. We get a big winter in Wyoming. However, we were able to stay busy because it's so remote. We're not restricted on whether we can go to work or not during the coronavirus. So we stayed busy all year developing these targets, putting together a 25 square kilometer land package, and so we were able to work this year until about the 15th of January, before the snow really started to fall. But even today, I can get in there and do some things. But I think for the first year, we're going to start drilling in the summer season. So we'll start our work in May, and then the drill program will commence in July. And we hope to drill from July all the way through until the deep snow comes. I imagine that'll be about the middle of January.
Do you drill core, or do you drill also RC? Also core for the structure and RC more for the results, or for the cost efficiency?
Because it's a high grade target, and we're seeing high grade samples all over the property, and because it's an orogenic style of mineralization, which is important because orogenic style of mineralization produces about 75% of the gold worldwide. These systems are controlled by geologic structures, and so it's very important to understand those structures. And with RC, you don't get as clear of a picture on that. You need to drill the core to understand what's controlling this mineralization, and that allows you to build a regional model to be able to understand, hey, we have gold here, we know there's gold here, but we're going to look for other things that look like this because we know the gold's here. And to me, this is really a district scale opportunity. We have a perfect, first target. We see everything we want to see there in terms of gold mineralization at surface, a big, structural shear zone that we think could host a lot of gold, and also, historic mining, which proves that there was some economic grades there. Mm-hmm. And so the first plan is to drill underneath the old mine. We've already sampled within the mine. And then also to step out along the structure where we see lots of evidence of prospect pits. But these were so hard to develop in the early 1900s, with primitive methods that they never got around to it. And so that's the opportunity here, is to expand along strike and really put together a nice gold resource here that we think exists.
Is this Wolf mine? Is this the Wolf mine?
Yes, this is the Wolf mine.
So I've been now on page 15, and the interesting is on page 14 you have some geophysics work.
Yes. So geophysics is an important tool we use. You're testing the electrical resistivity, mm-hmm. And so what we wanted to see there was a low resistivity signature at surface. So on the raw data, which is on the bottom there, you can see this kind of a pant leg blue structure, and that's representing the shear zone. So we know there's a structural shear there. We can see it at surface. We've confirmed it with the geophysics. Also, what you want to see is sulfides at depth. And so we're seeing the red. If you look at the top one, the sulfides are at depth. So that indicates that the shear should be mineralized down underneath the old mine. And so it makes a very clear target. You want to see three things. You want to see a favorable geophysics. You want to see gold mineralization at surface, and a big enough structure to host, a commercial scale mineralization. So that's what we're looking for. We see all of those three characteristics, which makes it a perfect target for drilling.
How deep was the old mine?
So the old mine only went about 15 meters, but the reason is because there was no water nearby. In the olden days, you couldn't drill a well 500 feet deep or 200 meters deep. You had to have a river there. There's no river, so they had to haul the ore long distances. And in 1914, they actually moved 300 tons of ore and hauled it to a mill. The report is that they got about 150 ounces out of that. And so, that's consistent with the grades that we're seeing at surface, half ounce per ton, 15 grams per ton. And so I think that it's very, very encouraging to see that there was the historic mining there, but it didn't get developed. So there's more for us, to take away. Some of the mines in the area have produced 200,000 ounces, but how much would be left for us then? That's a significant amount. But we picked the Wolf because we think it's could be over 1 million ounce gold target. And so what we need to do next is test our theory and see if there's really widespread mineralization there.
Do you have on the surface some tailings, and do you test these tailings too?
Yes, yeah. We took samples from all over. We have 25 square kilometers is the total land package, and we're focused on the Wolf area. Which is, about a quarter of that. And, we took 69 rock chip samples there from all around the claim. And we had an average grade of 2.5 grams. So there's really not many areas that we tested where we didn't find some gold. Most of this gold is within shear zones. And that's where the rock breaks and you have an opportunity for gold mineralization to come in. So that's where we focus most of the samples, and we have parallel structures that appear to be mineralized as well. 500 meters to the north, there's a parallel structure that has nearly 5 grams per ton gold in sampling. And if you go up the strike, 500 meters, to the northeast along the strike, we're seeing, gold mineralization over 1.5 grams per ton. So it's still, it's a very strong indication that we could see the high grade continue. But I think it's going to be in ore chutes. So this type of mineralization has very good continuity at depth. So right underneath the Wolf mine is a great place to drill. Along strike, we think there's going to be other pods of mineralization like that are high grade and wide enough to mine. And in between, you'll probably have a little bit less, but still, economic grades, hopefully.
So this 3,500 meters, how deep you really think you drill one hole in average?
Well, I think we'll test the initial holes will go right underneath the Wolf mine. So we'll probably drill about 150 meters across the shear zone. And we'll start at like a shallow angle, but then we'll start to test deeper to see what does the mineralization do when you get into the sulfide ore. And this is important. The Archean rock, which is 2.6 billion years old, this area that hosts the gold mineralization, it could be up to 2,000 meters deep. And so that's what the geologists think, is that it could have great continuity at depth. So this could be a deep underground mine, but only drilling will confirm whether that's the case.
Do you looking for other projects too?
Absolutely, yeah. We have several different areas of where we have claims in Wyoming, and we're continuing to build a company here. The one of the important things is that all of our managers and directors, they're all invested real, their own money in this company. So we want to build, not just a project, but a company that has multiple projects. And all of us are mining professionals. I was part of a team that discovered an 11 million ounce resource with Sandspring resources, and that was in Guyana, South America. But our other directors, they're geologists, they're mining engineers, and experienced mining investors that have been in the business for a long time. So yes, we certainly want to build a company, and we want to be a long-term, opportunity for investment.
Mm. But your major goal is not to bring this in production. It's more to make it big, beauty, that somebody comes and take over.
I think it depends. We have a lot of one of our directors, Mark Blythe, is a mining engineer, and he's currently working for Evolution Mining on the Red Lake mine, which is a similar style of mineralization to this. It's one of the most famous mines in Canada. So I think it depends. If we have a lot of success and we can raise money to develop this and put it in production, we'll go that route. If somebody makes us an offer that we can't refuse, we can certainly sell off assets and continue to build on other ones.
Mm-hmm. Okay, is a good point. This brings me to the share structure. I see it now on page 6. You are fully diluted 55 million shares. That's for this old company not really too much, I must say. But can you say where the bigger shareholders and so on, and the insiders or the management, how much shares they have?
Yes, so I think I'm the biggest shareholder in the company, and I've spent my own personal money investing in this project in Wyoming, and we also have the directors and insiders that own a lot of shares as well. We also have some high net worth mining investors. Some of these guys are royalty, are involved with royalty companies. So they're very educated mining investors, and so that makes up about 75% of our shareholders is owned by mining specific investors, and most of those people we know personally or are friends of our friends. So this has been word of mouth. We're just introducing the company to the public capital markets for the first time. We changed the name in September and announced that we had the project in October, and we've put out results consistently since then, indicating that we have a really good target here. And a lot of companies weren't able to work, so we were fortunate in that we still have a lot of news flow. And, I think that's only going to continue as we continue to build our property portfolio, as well as work toward drilling this summer, which is going to be the most exciting catalyst for the company.
Mm-hmm. Wesley, we are close, or coming to the end of the interview. We are close to 19 minutes, so the time is flying over. So, but what, as a shareholder, what are the 3 major news or news flow what we can expect this year from the company?
Well, we want to continue to pick up other old past producing gold mines in the area. So we have one right now, but there are others as well. And so I've been working very hard to try to make agreements with the landowners to look at high probability targets. And so we're going to put more of those into the company as we go forward this year and work toward drilling. The other thing we expect to get our drill permits in the beginning of summer and to begin drilling right away. So that's the major catalyst. And the other thing is putting together the right team of people and continuing to release our sampling results that indicate that we have, not just one target. This is the first one, but I can tell you there are many more, and it's going to be a very fun year in 2021 to be a visionary follower, and I'm excited about being a shareholder in the company.
Mm-hmm. Wesley, I think this was a great first introduction. Maybe we can do another interview then when you maybe start with the drilling, or you're coming up with the first drill results that can talk a little bit more about this. Then I think also that the drilling is well known as the truth machine, and they can tell us the truth of the project.
Absolutely. And I think the important part is to make sure that you do all your work before you start drilling, because you try to come up with a scientific hypothesis of why the mineralization's there, but we know it's well. We know that the mineralization is there because it was mined before. So now it's just to test the extent of it and the continuity at depth. And so that's the important part. But I like to look at things that are have a high probability of success, and I think this is one of them.
Mm-hmm. Wesley, thank you. It was really a great one.
Okay, thanks a lot, Joe. I appreciate your time today.
Ja, das war jetzt eine erste Einführung oder erste Vorstellung vom Visionary Gold. Ist wirklich interessant. Also ich hätte es eigentlich nicht geglaubt. Ich meine, Wyoming, USA, kennen wir von Uran vor allem und natürlich Kohle. Aber Uran war eher in mein Interesse in den letzten 20 Jahren. Weniger Kohle, aber ich habe das nie mit Gold in Verbindung gebracht. Und wenn dort wirklich bis in die 30er Jahre, 40er Jahre Gold abgebaut worden ist, dann ist das jetzt ein perfektes Szenario. Ich meine, damals hat man einfach mit den primitiven Methoden nur was Hochgradiges abbauen können. Und dann war der Krieg und so weiter und hin und her, und auf einmal war das uninteressant. Da war natürlich Uran viel wichtiger als wie Gold. Das kann man richtig gut vorstellen, dass das einfach vergessen worden ist. Und er kommt aus der Gegend, das hat er mir vorher schon erzählt, er war zwar in Südamerika und so weiter unterwegs, aber er kommt aus der Gegend und wollte eigentlich was Näheres suchen, wo er zu Hause auch quasi arbeiten kann. Und ja, das ist spannend. Ich meine, ich habe nicht gewusst, dass es hier so viele alte Minen gegeben hat. Und ich meine, man sieht es ja auch hier, wie die Löcher dementsprechend waren und wie die Trennstrukturen sind, dass das echt spannend sein kann. Ich meine, das erste, was sie heute so gefunden haben, mit 5 Gramm pro Tonne, über 10 Meter oben, 12 Gramm, ist super. Nur sagt es noch nicht aus, wie das unter der Oberfläche ausschaut. Und da sagt man halt, bei der Geophysik sieht man ein bisschen mehr. Er sagt hier, dieses Blaue ist vor allem diese Shear Structure, nicht Shear Structure, Shear Zone Structure, wo das Gold normalerweise gehostet ist, was die abgebaut haben. Und unterhalb, das ist hier vor allem auch das Violette, das ist eigentlich dort, wo das sulfidische Erz ist. Oben ist mehr das oxidische Erz. Sie kennen das, das ist das Oxiderz, das wird meistens geleacht, währenddessen das Sulfiderz wirklich über einen Circle abgebaut, also abgearbeitet werden muss. Also es wird chemisch ausgelaugt quasi auch und aufbereitet und gemahlen und so weiter und so fort. Dort sind aber normalerweise die großen Ressourcen. Und es ist gar nicht so unterschiedlich zu anderen Grünsteingürteln, die in Kanada oben sind. Er sagt auch, diese Struktur geht normalerweise bis zu 2 Kilometer tief. Das heißt, diese Minen, die dort sitzen können, sind möglicherweise extrem groß und sehr tief auch gehen, so wie in Kanada auch, aber sehr hochgradig, und vor allem natürlich kriegt man dann Tonnagen zusammen, die dann wirklich extrem spannend sind. Also der könnte da auf ganz was Tollem sitzen, weil eben dort 60, 70 Jahre lang nichts gemacht worden ist. Null. Und dass da nicht früher wer schon drauf gekommen ist, dass er die alten Minen sich eigentlich anschaut, wundert mich. Also deswegen wundert mich auch nicht der Aktienkursperformance, denn die Aktie ist nach wie vor sehr eng, sage ich mal. Ich meine, wir sind mit der Marktkapitalisierung, glaube ich, von 8, 9, 10 Millionen. Das ist eigentlich extrem billig für das, was der möglicherweise dort hat. Also ich bin gespannt, wenn der wirklich mit guten Results rauskommt, dann wird dort auch ein Boom stattfinden und alles rundherum wahrscheinlich gestickt werden. Das bringt mich jetzt zu einer letzten Frage. My last question. Do you think or do you plan something to stick before you start to drill?
Well, yeah, we've already staked the 25 square kilometers,
Yes.
but we plan to increase on that before we start drilling.
Yeah, that's coming to mind when you're coming up with really great results. A lot of other companies coming into the area and stake the whole other stuff.
Yes, so we have most of what we want, but I think there's I have a Wyoming background, so I know a lot of the people up there that own private lands and private claims, and so establishing these relationships allow us to make deals with these people. And I think people are very excited. I mean, I get guys that have claims in Wyoming that are coming to me now and saying, look, we appreciate that you're exploring for gold in our state, and we think there's a lot of potential. So why don't you lease my claims? So there's been a lot of that sort of activity, and I think that going forward, it's very important to understand the culture of the place you're working, and to have a good relationship with the people, because they're the ones that live there. You're going to find a lot of things by talking with the individuals that have been studying this for a long time in the state.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I can understand. Wesley, thank you for the introduction. Good luck also with all the staking and also for sure with the drilling. And hopefully we can talk next time or when you start with the drilling or you have the first results out of the drilling. And and hopefully maybe we can meet us in person on one of the next conferences. But I don't think this will be this year, more next year, I must say.
Yeah, hopefully we can have you out to Wyoming sometime, and but bring your cowboy hat.
Absolutely, I will do.
Okay. All right.
You.
Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.